Good afternoon. My name is Brian Macris, and I'm President and CEO of Home Choice Lending. And today I have a great guest, or two great guests actually. There's a husband and wife team. It's Jeremy and Shelly, and they're with New Hampshire Home Buyers LLC. So thank you for coming in today. It's gorgeous out. It's going to be 60 degrees. Great day. So thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
It's an honor. It's our pleasure.
Yeah. So we were talking a little off camera. So tell me a little bit. I know you guys are married. Tell me a little bit about how you guys got started in this, and tell me a little bit about you guys.
Sure. Well, my name's Jeremy. This is my wife, Michelle, as you said. She is an ultra runner and a super mom. And so, you know, we're a blended family. We got married 2 years ago.
Congrats.
Thank you. We've been together for about 7 years, and together with the kids living together 5 years. We're basically running friends, and then, you know, I went through a divorce, and you know, she went with a divorce after that, and when we were running, we just became really close friends, and it kind of just blossomed into that. It was funny because we actually started the business right around the time we started dating, and for a long time I was like, man, I really want to get into real estate. And to kind of circle back a little bit further, I actually started to do some real estate investing in around 2007, 2008, right before the Great Recession.
The crash, yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I had a really good sales job at that time. That was with my previous marriage, and I was living life really great. You know, we had tons of equity in the house. We just refinanced, put an addition on. Life was great. And then the company that I was working for at that time, the owner of the company died, and the wife took over. And you know, we're getting feelings that the company was going to be sold, and there may be some changes. So I ended up jumping ship to go with another company. And right around that time, the whole world just kind of collapsed around me, and I went from making a pretty good six-figure job to $30,000 a year in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And couldn't afford my house. And at that time, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Great book.
Great book. You know, there weren't podcasts then, but I was listening to like a lot of CDs when I was driving to my sales appointments and things of that nature. So I started to learn all about this. I'm like, this is what I want to do. And as a matter of fact, I ended up taking a Trump University seminar over a weekend. I almost got into the coaching program, but couldn't afford it. And then, you know, then everything just kind of fell apart. I lost my job. I couldn't afford my house. Mortgage companies at that time, as you probably remember, were like closing like left and right.
Yeah.
And it just put us in a position and that we're facing foreclosure and bankruptcy. And this was like the second time in my life this happened. When I was a kid, my family went through foreclosure and bankruptcy as well. So it's tough. And I'm like, oh, you know, here I am. I'm going to go through it. And that's like, I never wanted to deal with that. And so anyway, you know, we're trying to refinance and, you know, try to do some loan remodifications with our house. It's not an option. I'm calling everybody that out of the yellow pages to try to find a book. Nothing's going to happen. Out of the phone book, trying to find a job. Can't find a job anywhere. Can't afford my house. Things are going bad. Started to wholesale, what I thought was wholesaling at the time. Really didn't know what I was doing. I was just basically going to find houses on the MLS and trying to lock them up to sell to some other buyer, but at that time the banks weren't letting go of anything because they probably knew it was around the corner. So ended up, because I knew a little bit about investing, found an investor to short sell my house to rather than going through bankruptcy and foreclosure, which really saved me long term.
Yeah,
didn't affect my credit as much. And then I joined the Air Force, and I left and went into the Air Force for 6 months to try to learn a new trade. It was the only thing I could find at the time that was take care of my family. Came back, got divorced, and then moved the next town over, bought a townhouse, and then that's when me and Shelly were starting to spend a lot of time together. We're running, and I'm like, Shelly, I really want to get into real estate investing. I want to own properties and be a landlord, but you know, maybe we should do some flipping first. And then, you know, I was listening to these different podcasts, and I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to do wholesaling.
So started this from scratch. With really no experience. You just all in, and you're like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah, in fact, the townhouse, and I just did something on our Couples Flipping Houses Facebook page about this story. It's called 5 Houses in 5 Years, and it's about these townhouses where I was living in when we started, right before I started the business. I sold that townhouse, moved to a small 2-bedroom apartment, downsized, made like, you know, 15, 16 grand in equity on the house from living there for a couple of years. Spent $5,000 on a coach to show me how to wholesale my first deal.
Love it.
Spent $6,000 on the business, and I've never spent a dollar since into the business. Yeah.
Wow.
Grown it since then.
Wow. That's incredible. So, I mean, you're literally down in the dumps. The world is crumbling around you. and then your wife shows up in your life, and you build this from nothing.
Yeah, we built this together. Yeah, she has been, you know, that analogy about the business is basically what she's done to me as a person and in my life as well.
She rebuilt you too.
Yes, she did. 100%.
Stronger than before.
She makes me the best that I can be.
My wife does the same thing. You know, she does. You know, the support system is valuable, but then she's also all in.
She's all in.
Okay. So do you have any side hustle besides this? Or are you all in on this?
So at the time, he was working full-time in his sales job. I was also working full-time in recruiting. And then he, after a year of doing it while working, he said, I really need help. Can you leave your job? I just want you to come on full-time with me.
Giant leap of faith.
Huge leap.
I couldn't leave mine quite yet.
I remember I said, there's not going to be enough for me to do. What am I even going to do? And there definitely was, because the company just kind of
grew fast.
Grew and exploded, and my position evolved. It still evolves all the time.
Yeah, we're both evolving in the company.
And then probably a year after that is when you went all in.
Correct? Yeah. So we did, we started as basically a side hustle, working nights and weekends.
Love it.
Burning the candle at both sides for 3 years, really. After the end of the first year, she quit her job, came on. And then the second year, we did it all in while working my full-time job. We did 10 houses our first year, did almost 24 the second.
Wow.
And the third year, that's when we started to hire our team. We did about 35 houses. And at the end of that third year, I quit, and I've been all in since.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a veteran. It's a veteran-owned company.
Yes.
That's when New Hampshire Home Buyers LLC was formed, and you guys started to create that. Mm-hmm. So you guys do a lot of things. So tell me a little bit about what your specialty is. What is the key thing that are you searching for dilapidated houses? Are you searching for homeowners? Are you searching for, what's your customer? And primarily, what's your goal with each customer? Is it different with each one? Do you look at each case and decide whether or not you want to take that one on?
Yeah, and thank you for asking that question. So 2 things. One, we're an off-market acquisition company, off-market property acquisition company. That's where we look to gear our focus, is just acquiring properties off market. But as our company motto says, strengthening the community with real estate solutions, that's really what we do. So we're out marketing, looking for properties and homeowners that are in distressed situations. And those distressed situations come in various styles. It might be somebody like me who couldn't afford their house at the time, behind on mortgage payments, tax delinquency. It could be somebody who inherited a house that they don't want, especially one that needs a lot of work. The house may be distressed, it may not be distressed. It could be a situation where our recent house, a scary house, where this guy was living in it and there was a hole in the roof for 6 months and somebody was living there. They come in all shapes and forms. But what we're doing is we are tailoring a customized solution for whatever their unique problem is. And everybody has their own unique problem situation in exchange for equity in their home. So we'll come in, we help them problem solve how to get them from point A to point B to better their situation, better their life, give them almost a reset button per se. And in exchange for equity in the house, that's how we make our money, and then we move them to whatever they need to do.
So if it's an elderly person that needs help with getting pods out there, or getting moving companies set up, whether it's getting their home so that you can then turn around and buy it, move them to transition into their life, you guys are helping them with all of that.
100%. You want to tell them about the Anna story, and then I can tell them about Ken and Derry?
Sure. So we had one woman who, she didn't have any family here. They were all out in
Las
Nevada.
Vegas. Yeah.
And she was in a situation where she wanted to move, but a realtor came in, told her she had to clean all of these things out, update a bunch of things. Not only could she not do that, but she couldn't even form a plan of how to get to the next step, even how to get to Vegas.
And there's no one around here to help.
There's no one to help. So basically what we did was we went over there. We had many visits with her to kind of game plan what to do. We had our team get pods delivered, fill up the pods with things from her house on different visits. We also worked with her daughter-in-law that was in Vegas to set up flights that would coordinate with the closing. And a lot of these people don't have that money up front, so obviously we'll pay for that up front before the closing to help just line everything up to make it really smooth and easy. I think we even brought Anna to the closing.
We brought it to
And
the
the
closing, and
airport.
then the airport
That's
right
right.
after.
Yeah, we actually, a
She
lot of
cried
the
at the
people
end.
too,
She
I
was
know
so
we have
happy.
nice relationships with a lot of these people at the end too, because we spend a lot of time with them. So that was the Anna situation.
Yep, and then there was this house in Derry we bought a couple years ago, and this gentleman, you know, was married, had a wife, and then got divorced, and then somehow suffered a brain injury, and he was very cognizant. Did I say that right? Cognizant. Yeah, thank you. I screw up words a lot, so
So do I.
So the listeners
So
will
do I.
say, "What did he just say?" That doesn't make sense. I call it a Jeremyanism.
I like it, Jeremy.
So this gentleman just started becoming a hoarder, like a really, really bad hoarder. And the house started getting really old, and he owned it outright, but he wasn't paying his taxes, and that's how we found out about it. He actually owed about $46,000 in taxes.
Wow.
And he had a job, but he just couldn't take care of himself and the house. And the house was like literally barely had running water. He was living in probably close to 2 feet of trash in the house. Like,
Wow.
you know, there was like walking paths. So he
Wow.
wasn't even taking the trash outside of the house. He was just collecting everything, including trash. And this guy was just really distressed. So he needed help to not only get out of that situation, but to get into another situation. So Tucker McCarthy, who's a member of our team, he's our project manager and real estate agent disposition manager. He went and helped us find a mobile home park a couple towns over. They had a mobile home for sale. We ended up putting the deposit on it for him,
Wow.
took care of getting it secured for him. And then we arranged to send movers to his house, move him out of his house.
Tractor
move him-
trailers to get rid of this stuff, and probably dumpsters.
Yeah,
to
that
throw
was
away.
all of our stuff. He wanted to take a lot of it with him. We actually had to tell him no. But we had to literally take him out of this house, move him into his next mobile home. We paid for all the moving costs, got him all set up, and he left everything behind. And, you know, he could have never done that on his own. And he had a chance to actually reset his life again. And this is just 2 examples that Michelle and I are sharing with you, but this is hundreds of examples that we
Wow.
do on this
I
with
just
our
thought
business
of
every day.
one more quick one too
Sure.
that I'll share, because there's just like so many different things that happen. There was another one where our acquisition specialist, Eddie, who was amazing, he really helped out this family because they wanted to move to Vermont. They didn't know how they were going to pack up, how they were going to get there. The moving trucks scared them. So we had our movers help pack them up and move. But before doing that, they thought they weren't going to be able to sell their house because they had these old like tractors and backhoes
Yeah.
and excavation
Old
stuff. Just
excavating
really
equipment.
old in the
Yeah.
backyard, and they're like, we can't sell this house because we can't get rid of these things. And Eddie
Found
actually
a guy.
found a guy to
Yeah.
buy and remove the stuff from the property and
And
put
gave
that
the
money in
cash in
their
there.
pocket
Yeah.
so they could have some money for the move and everything.
Yeah. And then-
So
then
we do
we-
a lot of creative things like that.
Then we brought movers in to drive them all the way to Vermont.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So-
So you're life managers, not just for
Feels
yourself,
like
and,
it.
Yeah.
and you have the experience. I can tell you're very passionate about it. I can tell you're all in on this. I can tell you guys
it.
are a great team, and I know you love it because people don't always remember the life experiences, and it looks like you really feel it, and you lived some hard times.
I did.
So you also have another passion to say, listen, I had kids during this situation. It was the worst ever, and I was going through transition with my job, transition with my life. And if you can ease the pain for somebody else going through that, it's amazing. And I want to note that you're not real estate agents.
We're not.
Okay, because you'd mentioned that off camera.
Yeah.
So you're truly coming in from a different angle saying, listen, a real estate agent wants to list your house and move on. You're saying, I'm going to help you organize your lifestyle and get you on track. You found somebody a home to live in so that you could go in and temporarily take over their place, liquidate it, get them the cash that they need and wash their hands of it, and hopefully start a new life track going forward.
100%. As we know, bad things happen to good people all the time,
Yeah.
right? And
I
sometimes,
say that all the time. I tell that to my wife.
True. Yep.
You know?
and there's definitely we've fall into like a niche of people who don't need real estate agents, and there's a lot of great real estate agents around that do
Sure.
amazing work for
Sure.
a lot of people. And a lot of times when we meet with these sellers, we will tell them, you should see a real estate agent. You're a better fit for them. We aren't the fit for you, and we'll try to connect them
Yeah.
with the person who we feel is best for
Yeah,
them.
your service is definitely different.
It's different.
You guys are life coaching, and you guys are life organizing. Hitting a reset button for someone to kind of
Right.
start fresh, moving forward.
The
And
people we deal with aren't looking to get top dollar of their house. They're looking to get out of their situation, and obviously they need the money. We provide them with as much money as possible. but they need to get out of their situation. Whereas a real estate agent's not going to be able to come in and provide all those services. And even after that, I mean, there's so much handholding that goes all the way to the closing table to get people there. Some of these people came and like work to get mortgage discharges and things of that nature. It's a lot of work.
I mean, you're putting a deposit down on someone's new living space, and you're getting
for
deposits,
movers,
you're moving stuff in, and you're putting plane tickets. Yeah, and that is different than anything else out there.
And
That's
our
great.
whole team is on board with this, and we're all like this, and we're all very passionate about it. Even with our secondary site in Western New York, Dylan and Emma.
I have a story like this from last week, a
they're
really
the
good
same
one,
way.
the same thing with our New York office.
They moved a lady to Florida,
Yeah.
got her a trailer down in Florida. It didn't do well the inspection. He renegotiated the price for her, got her a better price, got them to do all the repairs, and then we paid to have her move down there.
Wow.
So that's the kind of stuff that we do on a regular basis.
That's amazing. I love everything
We're
about it.
really proud of it.
Yeah, and you should be, because I think it's incredible. So it's just a different angle than what's going on out there, and I think it's very, very, very valuable. Now here it says between both of the markets that you're in, closed about 200 transactions. You have not been in business that long. I mean, don't get me wrong, you've been in there for a while, you're experienced, but 200 transactions is a lot.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it is, and sometimes it seems not as much as it should be at times, but then sometimes it seems so much more than it really is. So we started the business January 2017, and here we are March of 2022, so just in the start of our 6th year. But really, it's only been a little more than 5 calendar years, and we've done about 200 acquisitions, and that's just us buying the house or closing on the buy side. I mean, there's many more on the end.
Layers and layers of other things that you do on top of that,
But,
which I love.
We're pretty cool about that. We're hoping to do about 100 acquisitions between the two markets this year. That's our goal.
Wow, that's about 9 a month.
Yeah.
Or 8.5 a month,
it's
which is a lot. So you guys are also in the community. You guys are doing a lot out there. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, we have, if you go to our Facebook pages, and our websites, and even our YouTube channel, you'll see tons and tons of testimonials, something we're really passionate about. Our team does a great job, and you can see even on the screen
these are some of them.
Eddie and Tucker are amazing, great guys, no pressure, respond right away. We believe in being very transparent about everything that we do, whether we're going to take the house ourselves or we're going to sell it to another investor, which is one of our exit strategies. We want to make sure we handhold them and communicate through the whole process so they fully understand exactly what's going on. And Eddie and Tucker, they're just great guys with big hearts, just like the rest of our team, who go above and beyond to do whatever it takes to take care of these people. And I think we have probably 80 testimonial videos and written testimonials and Google reviews, just showing how much we've made an impact over the years, and it's amazing. And then obviously we give to local charities as well.
Yeah, but these people are taking time to just really talk about how great you guys are and how much you helped get them back on track. I mean, that's amazing. Brian,
one of the things we hear a lot is they'll say to us, like, I didn't even know you existed. I didn't know this was an option.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that postcard I got in the mail or that text message I got. You changed my life. I can't believe this is actually real. And it's hard not to get emotional when those things happen at those times. Because it's great. And for somebody who went through that stuff, it hits home.
I agree.
And I think that we're really lucky, too, to have formed a team that aligns with how Jeremy and I started the company. Because in the very beginning, that first year, it was just us, and we were the people that were going to meet with all the sellers. And we would sit down with them knowing that we're probably going to sit there for 2 hours and not talk about money at all. We're just going to talk about what can we help you with? What is your problem, and how can we find a way to solve it? And so when we hired our first acquisition manager, Eddie, we were cautious. I said, I just want somebody that's going to make these people feel the same way that I think we make them feel comforted and take them off guard and let them know someone's there. And so we found Eddie, and he is exactly like that. People love him. And then we found Emma and Dylan for the Western New York office, same thing. And of course Tucker. So I feel like we're very lucky that we have a team that all has that same goal to really put people at ease and how can we help you out here. So
I love it.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to get a couple of before and afters. I want to talk about these.
Those are fun.
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, people love before and afters because it really does kind of show what you guys do, and then how you maximize what is here. So here's a home that I see in the top left, and then on the right hand side, it looks like it was either painted or resided. The stairs look new. You did some landscaping. You pulled a giant, rhododendron maybe that's up there that's blocking the whole front of the house. But tell me about these projects.
Yeah, I'd love to. So the first one up top, that's in Leominster, Massachusetts. We flipped that one ourselves last year. Actually, both of these houses we flipped internally. That one up there, was an older couple that lived in that area for a long, long time and decided to, I think inflation was their biggest enemy. Over time, they just, their cost of living they couldn't afford. Sure. And the house just started to deteriorate around them to a point where listing with an agent just wasn't going to be their best option just because it needed a lot of work. There was just a lot of wear and tear, probably 30 years of wear and tear in that house. And they just didn't really have any, not only resources, but the physical ability to do any upgrades or repairs on that house. So we came in and said, hey, we can give you a solution. We gave them a quick close, which is something they wanted. Bought the house as is with all the stuff in, put some much needed money in there.
I see windows, I see roof, I see lights,
everything.
I see,
And
not only
inside and out, that place is brand new.
Brand new.
We took down a bunch of walls in that house, put a bunch of I-beams on. That was the biggest opening project we ever did as far as opening up an inside of the house. That house came out amazing. Everything is almost brand new. Not as brand new as the bottom house.
Not to mention the next one.
Let's talk about this one.
Scary house.
I'm actually shocked that anyone would actually buy that house.
Yeah.
So this house is called the Scary House.
House.
The first day we went to look at it, I was actually scared, and I was turning around to come back out when we first went in. He's like, "No, keep going. It's okay."
Wow.
Yeah.
So the house below is a probate house. So that I referenced earlier about a guy who's living in a house with a hole in the ceiling for 6 months.
Is this the house?
This is the house.
Wow.
So this gentleman basically became estranged from his family, and his family didn't even really know what was going on. He hadn't talked to anybody, and then he just died. And he didn't die in the house, but he died. But literally living in the house with water and snow pouring in, and that house we actually ended up buying for like $35,000.
Wow.
And so we bought it.
But you probably put 100 into it ish. Anyway.
350.
Okay.
So
there
we
you go.
basically built it brand new.
Yeah.
We took it down to the foundation, but we also had to clear that whole lot, as you can see from there.
Yep.
Put new septic and leach field in there, and then basically built it from the foundation up. So everything in the house is brand new. It's actually under escrow, getting ready to close now. And
no kidding.
We've never taken on a project that big ever.
It's the biggest.
That was the biggest. New driveway, everything, you name it.
Yeah.
And we did it in 6 months. Tucker and his team did a fantastic job. But the before and after pictures, obviously the outside is remarkable. The inside is even more remarkable because the inside literally had mold, black mold everywhere. It was flooded with water, and it was a hoarding house on top of it.
No kidding. That is just absolutely night and day. And again, nobody's going to buy that house. They don't have the resources to drop $350,000 in renovations.
No.
I see that the one photo has a chimney, the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
I see. It looks like maybe 2 doors going in on the left. And
I guess a builder developer could have bought it and leveled it and built something new on it, but that's not what we do. So we tried to save as much as existing houses we could.
Sure.
And once we tore it apart, we realized there was really nothing to save.
Nothing to save.
But the neighbors are very thankful.
I was just going to say, you're making an impact on the neighbors, and now kids are going to be moving into the neighborhood, and that. I've got this other photo here that I want to talk about here. So these, I love that kitchen with the backsplash and the range hood and the beautiful light. Tell me about this project.
Yeah, this is really Shelly's design. Tucker does a lot of this stuff now because he knows exactly what Shelly likes, but this is really the way she likes to design these houses. The top one, we put brand new wood floors. That's something we typically don't do, but painting the fireplaces, getting those special tile backsplashes and the nice light fixtures. We like light and bright.
Yeah. I love the colors. I love the countertops. I love everything. And it looks like you opened a wall up there because it's not. I can see the chimney.
Yeah, that was the house we said we opened up a bunch of walls. Had to put in like really big, huge engineered I-beams. Hindsight, probably spent way too much money that I didn't get back, but the house is just remarkable. It's amazing.
Is that already sold or is that now?
Yeah, we closed on that a few months back.
Okay, so that's check. It's sold off.
Check and sold. On to the next.
It's on to the next. And then is this part of that same project or is this a different project down
the one below, I honestly don't remember which house that is from.
Well, 200 is tough to remember.
Yeah, they all kind of blend together sometimes.
I think that's a different house.
I think that is a different house.
But definitely the style
that's
we
basically
do.
That typical before and after pictures of most houses we buy.
I love it. I absolutely love it. You mentioned off camera about a book. I want to talk about that, but this is kind of some fun stuff. Is this your team?
So these guys down on the left, they're just some contractors that did some work on the scary house. You can see it was so bad they had to get in hazmat suits just to clean it out because it was really disgusting. Up at the top right, that is our acquisition manager here in New Hampshire, Eddie DiLorenzo. He's a rock star, and if anybody's looking to get into real estate investing, they should talk to him because he knows a lot about helping people and what works and what doesn't work in this business. He's a great guy, and family to us. And then on the bottom right, that's me and Michelle. We do a Flip Friday video series on our Facebook pages for New Hampshire home buyers and YouTube channels, where we'll show like us buying a house and the transformation throughout and with the end result.
I love it. It's like HGTV, all right here.
Yeah.
You guys could have your own little network.
We'd love to. I'd love to.
Yeah.
I love that.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks like you guys do, and it looks like you're very hands-on. You're in the project.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do any of the actual work. We manage everything, but we like to. Yeah, we like to just promote our company and show exactly what's going on, and
how you're helping the community.
How to help in the community, and people love the before and after pictures. So to see a house from like the scary house, how does it get to the end result? And we should check in a few weeks throughout the 6 months, and you can see like the progress coming along. And
I love that.
Sometimes what happens is we go to closings and they're like, "Hey, we've been watching your video on Facebook, and we're like, oh my God, that house is coming for sale," and they actually bought it from us, knowing that they've seen the whole transformation before it even happened. So it's really cool.
I love it. I want you to talk about, you have a home buyer magazine or a home buyer
an ebook.
book.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
so
you mentioned that off camera. So tell me about that.
Thank you. So we created a ebook. So wholesaling, for what people don't know, is basically what you do is if you go to a property and put a property under contract, it's a purchase sales contract, you have the rights to assign that contract, if you make it assignable, to an end buyer.
Okay.
So how we started in this business is what we call wholesale. So because we had no money, we would go market and we'd find some distressed sellers, and we'd buy property on 123 Main Street, put under contract for, let's say, $100,000. We'd go find an end buyer who's a flipper, a rent landlord investor, and we'd sell that contract to him for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and we'd keep the difference. He'd actually take the money and close on the house. So we're almost like a middle person in that way.
Love it.
And that's what's fueled our, fueled the funds to build our business to where we are today, where we could flip houses and buy rentals and everything else. That's how we started. So with that being said, we created an ebook on wholesaling, and it's called How to Wholesale Your First House with Little to No Money Out of Pocket. And it's free, and if they come to our Couples Flipping Houses Facebook page and just say, "Hey, I heard about your podcast," we'll just email it out to them, and hopefully it'll help, generate some income for them.
So this is the best phone number to reach you guys?
Yeah, that is our website phone number. You can call that number. The best way to reach us is just on Facebook or Instagram. New Hampshire Home Buyers or Couples Flipping Houses. One of those two handles will get us in contact.
I love it. Well, I've got to have you back. Okay, I appreciate you guys coming in today.
Pleasure.
This is absolutely awesome. I love everything that you guys are doing. So thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being
It was
here.
a great time. Thank you.
You're welcome.